That opens us up to this meeting of Humans Anonymous. My name is Landon.
Excuse me. My name is Amaria.
Maybe not take a drink right at the beginning. Off the top, we're going to have some burps. Let's go. All right.
I'm so thirsty.
Today, we have another solo episode back with my beautiful wife in the studio. It's been a while since we've got to sit here and do an episode. I'm excited to be here with you.
Well,
how are you doing today?
We have so many guests that come on the show. Everybody wants to be on the show now. But
get a little closer to the mic, babe.
My gosh, I hate being so close to it. I'm doing
that
great
mic
today.
Is your friend. That mic's gonna become your best friend. Get real close. Doing good today?
Yeah, things are going good today.
Yeah, I know that you started something new, and we'll kind of talk about that later. But you're having a good day today?
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm having a pretty decent day.
Good.
I got a little nap in this afternoon with the girls. Woo! I don't get to do that very often. A whole hour, a whole power hour. All right, we want to introduce some new people to you here in the studio.
Gosh.
We got on Amaria's right. Rob Zombie has entered the mix. Check it out. This was a gift to Amaria. She's a big Rob Zombie fan, so I figured we had to get him up here in the studio. I also wanted to apologize. I believe last time we were in the studio, Bob Marley wasn't here. I think he fell off. He's been trying to escape for some time now, and I don't think he was in the last one we did in here. Maybe Nick was in here or something, but he's new, and I never introduced him, but Daryl Philbin. He's also been in the studio for a couple eps now. Didn't even introduce him. He was in episode 6, Being a Man. That was the introduction episode for him. But I know it seems maybe stupid to some of you, but hey, it's our studio. These are our people. We wanted to let you guys know what we got going on. So, Maria.
So, Landon.
What are you thinking? We should just get right into it?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the episode today. Guys, we are just chatting. We're just going to chat. We're going to catch up. We're going to kind of talk about some of the things that we have been maybe struggling or dealing with lately, and kind of what we've been doing to deal with those things. So do you want to lead us off, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first. Mine's a little bit longer than yours.
So for a lot of people, regulating emotions is a big problem, and that's always been a huge problem for me. Not problem, challenge.
Okay.
It's been a big challenge for me to learn how to regulate my emotions. You know this very well. I have really big highs and really big lows, and I've been on medication on and off for like bipolar or just medicines to kind of regulate emotion a little bit better. And that's worked for me in the past. Sometimes it hasn't, but I've kind of been implementing some things in the past, 2 months to kind of help me with those things a little bit. And one of the things that I'm going to talk about is one of those things that's kind of multifaceted. And before we get any further, here's our break for sponsors. No, I'm just kidding. I just want to let everybody know, if you hear background noise, we have children in the house today and they are awake. So just roll with it, because they can't stay outside all day with their aunt and play, but they will stay outside for a while. So we might hear a little noise back there. Just a heads up. But one of the big things that I'm going to talk about today, like I said, is kind of a multifaceted thing, a tool I've been using that has kind of been helping me in multiple different ways, and that's video games. So video games have kind of been helpful to me lately in a lot of different ways. Do you want to comment on something?
I do.
Go ahead.
You know, when you told me this story earlier, I was thinking to myself, like, aren't video games an issue right now? Like in like teenagers and stuff?
So I think that anything that becomes an addiction is an issue.
Okay.
Right. So is that kind of what you're talking about? Is the obsession, or like where video games are going nowadays? Because that's a whole different thing too, like violence in video games.
I would say both. I mean, honestly, you know,
so here's what I would say. Let's stay away from those topics, because I'm not going to be talking about that. That would be a whole different, and I'm not trying to sound like rude or anything. That's a whole different category. Yes, video games can absolutely be an issue. Just like when anything becomes an addiction, it becomes an issue. It starts to take over your life. There are kids that are obsessed with video games, that are cussing their moms out for asking them to come eat dinner, you know. And so, yes, there's that side of things. There's the violence in video games side of things, 100%. But what I'm going to be talking about today is using video games in a healthy, constructive way.
Okay.
Just like using Percocet.
No,
hear me out. Sometimes if there's an injury that's bad enough, or let's say Ritalin, if somebody has an issue with them that's bad enough, we can take this tool and we can use it, right? And I know that this is kind of a rough comparison, but just because something when used in an addictive setting is bad doesn't mean that when you use it in a healthy way, it can't be beneficial. So what I'm going to be talking about is using video games in a healthy way rather than using it in the extreme addiction way.
Okay, well.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll jump into this and then we'll see what you got, okay? So, video games. One thing, like I said, they've been helping me with just emotional regulation. This is actually something that my brother Micah kind of brought up to me, and I've been doing a lot of further research on, because I guess I didn't realize how beneficial video games can be if used properly. You know, we can put that asterisk next to a lot of things. Alcohol can be fun if used properly. Weed can be XYZ if that's what you believe, if used properly. But anything can become toxic, can become an addiction.
Okay.
And so one thing that traditional video games kind of teach us, train us to do is solving and strategy, right?
Yeah.
Am I boring you?
No, I just woke up.
Go like this. Come on, give me one.
I'm not doing that
Do
on
it.
camera.
You have to. You should have seen last week's episode. I was doing all kinds of crazy stuff on camera.
I'm not doing that, though. That's
all
not
right.
me.
Well, wake up. No more yawning on the podcast.
I'm drinking a Mountain Dew. I'm trying.
All right. Video games. Helping with solving problems with strategy. You know, that's kind of something that they've done from the beginning. It's like, here's the problem and you have to kind of fix it in this fun way.
So like Mortal Kombat.
Sure. Like Mortal Kombat. You got to figure out how to overcome your enemy, right?
Yes.
So it develops those solving and strategy skills by getting a player to solve increasingly complicated situations. You know, that's kind of the idea of it, is it's not always going to be easy. And here she is again. All right, get up.
I'm sorry.
Get up and spin around.
No more.
I'm
done.
Come on.
Nope, I'm done.
Come on.
I'm done.
Get up, spin around.
No, stop.
All right, one more time, and we're taking drastic and serious measures, ma'am. This is your job.
I'm done.
I'm kidding, babe. I'm kidding. I love you.
Why
don't you drink some coffee, though?
I don't want to mess my stomach up. You know me. I only like to drink coffee really during the morning time.
Right.
It just messes my whole track up.
Get that morning jug out the way.
Yeah.
All right. So as I was talking about, those problems in video games usually increasingly are getting more difficult. And that helps you not just be able to start somewhere and build from there, but it helps you also develop how to fail and keep going, how to, you know, kind of overcome those harder parts of the game, of life. You know, it fosters all of that kind of emotional training, for lack of a better term. Video games can also be a potent ally to alleviate depression. Now, I didn't talk to you about this earlier, but this is something that, doing some more research, that I've kind of come across on a number of different places. But a lot of people say that playing video games alleviates depression because it helps get a sense of purpose and accomplishment. So when you're playing a video game, when you're playing Mortal Kombat as a kid, was there ever somebody really, really difficult that you came up against fighting and it took you a long time to beat them?
Yes.
Who?
What's his name? The guy with the forearms.
The guy with the forearms. Mr. Forearms. You couldn't beat him.
No,
you know Mortal Kombat. I don't know Mortal Kombat. You came at me with Mortal Kombat. Mr. Forearms. We're sticking with it. He's Mr. Forearms. So Mr. Forearms, he was really hard to beat. Once you finally beat him, how'd you feel?
I probably jumped up and down and was
and it
like,
made you
I beat him.
And that's exactly what this is talking about. You try and you try and you try, or maybe you just try really hard one time, but you put that effort in and you win. You get rewarded with that little, oh, you beat him. Now you get to move to the next part. And that's the crazy part. When we play video games, we get that little win and move on to the next level. And we're like, woo, right? But in life, when we just get that little win and move on to the next, we're like, oh, but I still have to beat the boss later. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't give ourselves those little wins. So this is also something that kind of helps with, and we talk about this on the show and all the time. It's like, celebrate the little win. And that helps kind of develop that as well. I mean, I'm sure you played a lot of video games as a kid and just got pumped beating everybody. Like every time you'd go past a level.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was exciting.
definitely.
It made you feel good. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, that's something that can also, and these are obviously, it's not like somebody's going to get all their problems solved by video games.
Right.
This is a tool that you are going to use as part of your therapy, alongside of your therapy, just something for you to do, something to get you kind of outside of this world, but still be working on things that are going to help you here. And so fostering that sense of purpose and accomplishment can really help with alleviating depression. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about is like on the emotional regulation side of things. Video games can promote emotional intelligence because they allow you to experience positive emotions and undo persistent negative emotions and improve resilience.
Okay.
So basically, what that is saying is it helps you dealing with, being okay with, or not necessarily being okay with, but learning how to deal with the highs and get through the lows, right? We have those really, really awesome times where everything is great because we just beat the boss and it's fun. And then there's those times where you lose. And some people are throwing the controller at the wall, and some people are just staying there and trying to solve the problem and trying to what did it say, undo, I like this phrase, undo persistent negative emotions. So if I'm consistently, and you know me, my big game right now is Fortnite. If I will persistently get killed like right off the bat, I'll have to like keep going until I get one where I'm like, okay, I can feel good about it. Even if I didn't win, at least I didn't like fail or something like that. And that's part of that, like learning how to take an emotion like being pissed off that you lost and be like, okay, let me try to do better this time and fix that. And so I don't have to feel that negative emotion. I can feel a positive one. And it helps too. How often have you seen me just put the controller down after a bad game and walk away? It helps having those negative emotion and being able to just be like, oh, it's just a game. I can put that aside and still have a good attitude, and so it
you're
helps.
able to do it.
Yeah. And so it helps on like a lot of different facets. And so I thought that it was something that was worth bringing up because I definitely think that it's something that has kind of been good for me to do as a pastime. That's kind of also helped as far as therapy goes.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on all that?
Well, like, because I watch you every time you play a video game, obviously, because you either play it at night, like when we're just in our bedroom alone and I'm scrolling through my phone just to see what I missed throughout the day.
Right.
Because I'm never on my phone. Or like today, you played it just maybe like 30 minutes before nap time on the big screen. You don't play for no more than 45 minutes, an hour, especially at nighttime when we don't have the kids. So, I see what you're saying. You're not like obsessed with it or anything, but you do talk about it often.
Yeah.
Especially
it's something that's fun for me.
Yes. Like when you kept getting second for those.
For anybody out there who plays Fortnite, you know what it feels like. It starts with 100 players and it just goes down until there's one person left. And I got second place a few nights in a row.
Landon won second place a few nights in a row and in like standoffs with the other person. And finally, he got the victory. And I thought that was going to be the end. I thought he was going to be done playing because he's like, I just got to get this. I just got to get this. That was not true. I don't know what I was thinking. You didn't stop. And today you lost at 50th place.
Yeah. I lost it on 99th place once today too.
I didn't see that one.
But no, and that's a really good point for you to bring up because even though I won, even though I did it one time, what does the game tell me? I can do it all over again.
You can do it again.
And I can improve and I can get better and I can, because there were a lot of things in that game, and I'm not going to get all nerdy or anything. There were a lot of things during that game where I was like, yeah, I still should have done XYZ better or killed this dude quicker or whatever it was. Should've got a better gun. Exactly. And so even with winning, we still take the things that we need to improve on the same way we talk about all the time, taking a loss and saying, okay, what's the positive out of that? We got to take a win and say, okay, but what can we improve on that as well?
Okay.
Because we never can stop improving, right?
No.
Because you will never, in my opinion, I shouldn't say this as a blanket statement, but in my opinion, I'm never going to be the best version of me. There can always be improvements. I can always be a little bit nicer. I can always, you know, do that next right thing.
I mean, yeah.
Does that make sense?
I mean, there was a point in time in my life where I thought that I was the best version that I possibly could have been of myself. It's not now, but you know, a while back, and I don't know. I just think that maybe you're right in a sense, but I also do think that.
Or I guess you could change the word out here for different.
Okay.
You're not the same person that you're going to always be.
No.
You know, there will always be changes, and sure, other things in your life might get worse, but there's going to be improvements too. And I guess you're right. So it's not like things are always going to improve either. Some people just go way south.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And so, yeah, you're right about that. You have to work to make those improvements. But I guess, yeah, my point is you're not the person that you're going to be.
Not right now. No.
Never.
Well,
you're never the person that you're going to be. Does that make sense? And I heard a quote the other day, and it was like, don't judge somebody by who they are, judge somebody by who they want to be.
Okay.
Or who they're trying to be, or something along those lines. But rather, like, just because of someone's situation, just because of someone where somebody's at right now, don't judge them. Judge them by who they're trying to be.
Okay.
You know, because you see me struggling a lot and looking like a very negative person a lot of the times. Well, but you're able to see past that because you know I'm working my butt off on it. You know?
And you tend to tell me a lot that I always think about the negative instead of the positives. I never have a positive outlook or think about the positive.
Well, you know, I like to play devil's advocate when you bring me situations and things. I like to say, well, let's look at their side of things, don't I? You know, and well, do you know that?
Yes,
and so I know, but I'm saying seriously, I think that is kind of what you're saying. Yeah. You know, it's like and all of this that I'm saying with like the emotional regulation, all of that helps with being more positive, feeling more positive. So that's what I got. Especially in yourself, yeah. Yes. So what do you want to talk to us about today?
All right. So recently, actually today, I had my first class at No Joke Mixed Martial Arts.
Shout out No Joke in Rockford. Loves Park.
And
No Joke in Loves Park.
It's a pretty cool place. Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about what kind of led me into that direction. Basically, it was an ultimatum from you telling me I had 24 hours to figure out a hobby that I wanted to do.
I gave you more than 24 hours. I gave you a week. So I told Amaria a couple weeks ago, let's do it for real if we're going to tell the story.
Okay.
I told her about 2 weeks ago that I really thought that she would benefit from starting a hobby or just getting something outside of the house that she was interested in, had interest in. And so after a week,
I decided kickboxing.
Yeah. Mixed martial arts.
Yes.
Or just an entry-level class at a MMA studio to kind of feel it out.
Yeah, I have, obviously, you know,
she's not, you know, throwing flying elbows yet or anything.
Having kids the past, you know, 2.5 years has really thrown me off physically. So, but no, I chose kickboxing, or the Fight Fitness class. That's what it is. It's called Fight Fitness.
Pardon my interruption.
Sorry. I chose the Fight Fitness class because you know, I didn't do it. I didn't do it in the mic.
All right, I'm sorry. That was for comedic purposes only. I'm sorry.
Covered my mouth and backed up. Okay.
All right. So talk to us about the 30-minute fight class.
Okay, well, I mean, today, so it was one-on-one with the instructor. She taught me, you know, just the basics. I mean, anything that somebody would already know, but they have to like show you exactly how to do it and how to throw the punches and how to throw the kicks. So I did jabbing, side punch, and then a what'd she call it? Not an uppercut. Anyways, it was just like a side hit with my wrist to the side of like someone's ear.
Right. So you just worked on some swinging stuff. So
we did,
so let's go over.
We did more than swinging.
I'm talking about you just went over some like basic fighting moves.
Yes. But
moving. So yeah, like let's go over a obviously you picked it because I kind of told you you needed to pick something, but what was the reason? What's the purpose behind, is there a reason for picking MMA?
Yes.
Is there a reason for doing, picking something that kind of, honestly, it seems like you picked out work for yourself.
Yes, I did.
I know for a lot of people that seems like that's what you did. I told you, hey, pick something fun, do a cooking class, or plan with your sisters to go out once a week or something. But you picked mixed martial arts.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
I wanted
Do you
to.
just want to kick some butt?
Would you let me finish?
I'm sorry. I'm wound up today.
I did pick something that was work for me.
Okay.
Because I feel like I need some type of work in my life other than being a mom. I have like recently we talked about me getting a job again, you know.
Yeah, and for the record, we also talk all the time about how being a mom is a full-time job. Being a mom is a full-time job.
It's horrible. Yes.
Regardless of whether you have a dad or not to help you out. Like we have, like I've got, I said that wrong. You have a husband, sorry, to help out. Regardless of that, being at home while I'm at work is a full-time job.
It is. But it doesn't just also give me a place to go and be by myself for 30 minutes. It also is helping. I feel like it's going to help me work on myself. I know that I always talk to you about wanting to go to the gym. I never go.
Well, I was just going to say, I think that a lot of what you're going to talk about is similar to what people use the gym for.
Yes.
But this is like for some people who are turned off by lifting weights or trying to figure out a workout routine, this is basically the same thing, but a little bit easier with an instructor and everything.
Well, kind of like a personal trainer. A personal
Yes.
trainer helps you with weights and stuff. This class isn't just about learning how to fight. It's about body discipline. It teaches you respect towards yourself and your opponent because there's somebody you can fight people. Like
eventually you'll be sparring.
Yes, yes, eventually. And I feel like that's something that I need in my life right now. In high school I used to fight, not professional,
like
but
pulling hair and
yes, that was basically the way to survive high school.
Yeah.
It happened a lot. And I don't want to be that way anymore, but I do want to learn how to defend myself without pulling hair.
Yeah.
And also, I did a lot of reading on what exercise could help with mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Like how does it help with mental health?
You mean how exercise helps with
sorry,
mental health?
I don't know why I couldn't word that.
No, you're fine. But basically you're saying you kind of, after deciding to do this, you kind of looked in, okay, what is this going to do for me as far as mental health goes? Is it going to help me? Do I need to find something else? Something like that?
Yes. And like today, I did my trial run. I checked it out and with the class that I did today. And I'm going to be honest, like I told you today, there was a point there where I felt like I was going to pass out.
Yeah.
This
you gotta get through that second
This woman
wind.
was working me. I was dripping sweat. My knees are bruised. Okay. I can't.
Yeah.
It hurts to walk.
I can't imagine. I did karate like for a couple weeks when I was a child. And that's as far into MMA as I've gone. I too did a lot of street fights, but like nothing where you're, having to exercise doing punches and kicks for 30 minutes straight. That's a pretty intense workout.
And like I told you also, like she's like, you got to let your body move. Like, don't be stiff. Like,
did you feel a little more in tune, in touch with your body?
I did. I felt like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like happy that I pushed myself, if that makes sense. Like I told you, when I got to that point where I felt like, I don't know if I can do this again. Like, I don't know if I can do the next thing that she's asking me to do without falling over.
And then you did it and you're like, yes.
And then I did it and I was like, oh yeah, I can do this.
Yeah.
Then I got back right in it. So I felt
that's
happy.
funny. That's funny that you'd bring that up because that's a lot like what we were talking about with the video game side of thing. It's like that little win, that little rush of like, okay, I did that one. I nailed that. Okay, I nailed that one. Okay, I nailed that kick. Now I can have that little bit of good feeling to do the next one and to keep going and to keep going. Like when you're accomplishing something, whether your form was good or not, I'm sure that Your form wasn't perfect on your first day, but you were still accomplishing something.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt very happy with myself. So back to what I was saying about like exercise helping with mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm gonna read this little tiny, it's just a tiny paragraph. Um it says physical activity is not only good for your body, but it is also great for your mind. Being active releases chemicals in your brain that make you feel good, boosting your self esteem and helping you concentrate, as well as sleeping well and feeling better. Not bad for something many of us can do for free.
So this is endorphins, correct?
Yes,
Is that what it's talking
endorphins.
about?
Yes.
So
Well,
if you
because
would
it's
have
right
watched
here.
last week's episode, you would have heard that we talked a lot about endorphins,
Yes.
which is just another term for, I believe it's androgynous morphine and
Whoa.
androgynous morphine,
Yes.
which is like natural morphine. And so what it's talking about when it talks about like exercise releasing those endorphins, same like we talked last week, you're getting that little shot of morphine. So it's like that natural high and not
Yeah,
like a
runner's
high like the
high.
chemical high,
Yeah.
but yes, like a runner's
Yes,
high
I also
where
read that
you
somewhere.
get that boost of like that really good feeling and
Yeah.
like you can run 100 more miles, and
That's
that's
how
like
and that's
like
how
a
I
high.
felt today. You know, I was after I hit that one point and I got right back up because I'll be honest, like I just like kneeled, like I squatted down and put my fists on the mat. And then she was like, "All right, let's do this one."
Get back up.
I got up and I started kicking and I felt great. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
this is great."
that's awesome.
So I'm gonna just say one of my PowerPoints here.
Bullet points. PowerPoint's a program on a
Whatever.
computer.
Anyways, understanding my mind and body better, I think that mixed martial arts will also help me do that. I after having kids, my body became different. It was a body that I didn't know prior to having the children. And when you have children, your mind does change. It changes your perspective on a lot of things. You see the world differently a little bit. And right now, even after, because Livy's about 17 months. So, I've had 17 months to recoup. But even now, sometimes I wonder, like, who am I other than mom?
Or like I know you've asked me, like I don't know if I'll ever feel the same.
Right.
Like,
Or like,
and those are feelings you can get back, I think.
yes.
Because I think that feeling is different from your physicality. You don't have to look the same to feel the same. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, but also no.
Okay, explain.
I talk to you about my body all the time.
Mhm.
Having the kids was especially so close together. It was a very big change. I didn't even have time.
I'm talking about feeling like as positive as you did about your body back then.
Mhm.
You can do that now. It's just going to be different.
See, that's the thing though. I just don't feel positive about it.
I know. I'm saying that you can work towards that. That's
Yes,
not
and
that's
that's
not
what
a
that's what I'm
I'm
trying
saying
to
that's not a
say.
feeling that you can't get back.
I know, that's what I'm trying to say
Yeah,
here.
okay, sorry. We were on two different pages. I'm
Yeah.
saying that feeling of body positivity, you can get that back.
Yes, I know, and that's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say here.
Gotcha.
Having kids back to back, I had kids within 15 months of each other. I
Mhm.
found out I was pregnant with my second when my oldest was 6 months old. And then, yes, I am so thankful that I was able to carry two perfectly healthy children. Don't get me wrong. But, a lot of moms probably think the same thing I did. I mean, I do. Is what do I do now?
Yeah.
How do I go back to who I used to be? Now I know that I'll
And
never.
how do I feel positive again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Body and mind wise. Now I do know that I will never be that person before. I am a new person now. I do have children now. I'm a mom. I am a mom. But I definitely think that working one-on-one with an instructor and being able to learn body discipline with the mixed martial arts, like learning how to not use my force, like too much force if I don't need to, or use all my force, just like stuff like that. I feel like that's going to help my mind just a little bit better. Oh, sorry. Help my mind just a little bit better on focusing and memorizing, like, how do I do this punch, or what did B want for lunch today? Stuff like that.
No, definitely.
And then understanding my body better. The instructor kept telling me, like, I need to let my, like, with the kicking, I need to let my hips do the work. She kept telling me, like, I'm not letting my hips loose, and it was keeping me from kicking correctly, and it was hurting myself.
Gotcha. So kind of getting in tune with the way your body moves. For anybody out there who hasn't done exercise in a long time, I know that's a big thing. Like, and I'm on the opposite spectrum of things, I guess, because even though I don't go to the gym, I'm very active. I skate and play basketball and stuff. So I'm more in tune with that. So when you mentioned that to me the other day, I was like, And but no, that makes sense. Like, you have to get in tune with how your body operates so that you can operate it properly.
Right. And
if you're throwing punches wrong, you're gonna hurt something.
Yeah. And obviously today I did. I mean, I hurt myself a couple of times. I'm not gonna lie about that. I hurt myself a couple of times.
Yeah, she's like, you need to do XYZ so that you're not hurting yourself.
So I think that what I'm doing combined all together is going to help me mentally a lot.
Yeah. And
I think that's why I chose it. No, I know that's why I chose it. I mean, obviously,
right.
I want to be better so that way I can be a better mom, a better wife, and honestly better to myself, because I don't.
Well, and that's what it's all about, right? Because if you're not taking care of yourself and putting yourself first, nothing else matters. Right. And that sounds selfish, right? Always put, your kids before yourself. But if I'm no good, what good am I to them?
Right. Yeah. And most of the time I have no motivation to do anything. This is going to give me motivation. Oh, I can go to a class tonight and
and you've been doing a lot of other things too, to kind of help with that too, being in therapy and trying to be more active and a lot of other things. But this is just the latest tool that you've added.
And I think it's going to help tremendously. I think this is going to be a new chapter in my life, if that makes sense. So I'm really excited to see where it takes me.
All right. Well, we are excited to see how hard you can punch.
See, I'm sorry. I told you mine was longer than yours. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're fine. What are we at? 30 minutes? Awesome. Yeah, I guess we can probably wrap it up right here, right? I was going to kind of talk about skating a little bit, but that's kind of like, it's all really the same thing. That's another tool that I use, a lot. I go skating almost every day, and that's, the same kind of thing. Releasing those endorphins, getting that exercise, getting in tune with your body, all of that. And
see, so I'm trying to match your six-pack.
My six-pack?
Yeah.
It came back. I've been doing them sit-ups.
Mine's not back yet.
I used to have a mean six-pack in high school. I'll tell you a little story real quick since we've been talking about fitness. My Uncle JT, who he is a black belt in karate, married to a black belt in taekwondo, and for a long time, every morning, even when he had kids, you want to lean in a little bit, even when he had kids, he was doing the P90X ab ripper. Have you ever heard that?
No.
It was like this really almost famous CD workout routine. And he would do it every morning, and he let us borrow it one time, and we kept it for a long time. And me and my brothers started doing ab ripper every morning. And so like at 13 years old, I had like sculpted abs, and the rest of my body was just skin and bone.
That's so gross.
Because, body positivity, since we're talking about it, something I've always struggled with, being a really, really skinny dude. And so like I took this one thing and I was like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it every single day. And so at like 13, 14 years old,
for
sculpted abs, and I still couldn't beat anybody in an arm wrestling contest.
Here's the thing. The reason I say that's gross is because you were a child.
Oh, yeah, but I'm saying it's just funny. It's funny that as a 13-year-old, I was doing P90X in my basement every morning.
I just don't think it's normal for children to have abs.
No,
I don't think that.
Well, growing up homeschooled, we had exercise time, and I guess this is kind of maybe what led into that, but we used to have sit-up contests, and me and my sister Leah could both do 100 sit-ups in one clip. Just sit down and pump out 100 sit-ups at once.
Do that.
And so like we just, I think that above anything else, we had too much energy, and my mom was just trying to let us get our
Right.
energy. But she'd be like, "All right, let's do a sit up contest," and we'd be like, and we'd probably, you know, be taking naps and stuff. So it was
Yeah.
probably all just a hoax by her
Well,
to
I
get
had
us
the
to
girls
sleep.
stretch with me this morning. I had B do some yoga poses.
But
with
yeah,
me.
that's a little exercise history on me that's kind of weird.
My exercise was running down Charles Street with my friends.
There you go.
That's about it.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, to close this thing out, I want to say a big special thank you to our producer, Aaron West, who's been running the ones and the twos, the threes and the fours behind the scenes there. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you for being a part of this show. Thank you for keeping it running, keeping it on its wheels. Big thank you to Rob Zombie for joining us today. And a big shout out to moi, MWAH. That is the group that we are affiliated with. We are a part of. We are under moi. Wanted to say real quick, if you guys are liking the content, if you guys are liking what we're doing, what we're saying, what we are about, go ahead and head over to our website. It's www.moi.net. That's mwah.net. There's some more content on there. There's some more videos that I've made, as well as links to other podcasts, links to stories about mental health, and just some more info about our troop. So if you guys are liking what we're doing, please go ahead and head over there. Other than that, you got anything, babe?
No.
All right. Well, thank you for being a part of this meeting of Humans Anonymous. Until next time. This is Landon Ballard, and this has been the Humans Anonymous podcast brought to you by moi. For more information on mental health, substance abuse, or to have me and Amaria come speak at your school, please head over to moi.net.